Hello, you beautiful parents and students. This is Uncle Code, another episode of Uncle Talk. And today we're going to talk about something, I guess, important. And I have heard a lot about it, and I think it's a common concern between parents, and that is a screen and screen time. But anyway, I want to understand what is the screen, what is the screen time? Do you really need to be shall we worry about it or not? These are the topics that we're going to talk and we're going to bring to our discussion. Hello, Raj.
Hello, Uncle Code.
How are you?
I'm good. Uncle Code, this thought just came to my mind. The fact that you are in the technology industry and education industry, I assume that you would spend a lot of time in front of a screen, right?
Exactly.
But how are you not wearing spectacles?
And not only one screen, multiple screens. Here in my desk now, I have my laptop. I have a big monitor here. I have the iPad open here, my phone here. It looks like those kind of, it's a kind of a skills to work with all of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Why do you think if a person works more with the screen needs specs?
I don't know. Maybe there's this misconception or there's this understanding that the more you look at the screen, it's going to be bad for your eyes. Is it like after internet and computers, suddenly we have a specs shop? No, not really.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite interesting though. Like you mentioned, you have multiple screens. And we as human beings only have two eyes, right? Most of us at least. But it's so interesting how using screens has become such an integral part of our lives nowadays, right?
It is. You know what now? Technically, millennium consuming 2 to 3 screens at the same time. Generation Z more than that. They say it's a sort of ability. It's coming to human brain. Looks like when you go and do the exercise, your muscle get bigger. Brain getting new ability to focus on multiple things at the same time. Looks like you're watching kind of your favorite football game, and at the same time you're tweeting about it and sending an Instagram with your friends, and also you're talking with your friends and family. Yes, I want that food. Yes, I understand. That's amazing. So that means you're getting this ability to talk about the multiple things. It's a good thing. It's a new kind of a way that we can attend, because human brain has a bandwidth. Looks like a kind of bandwidth, like kind of highway that you can have a lot of cars at the same time. The bandwidth, human bandwidth is increasing. That means the amount we can focus. For example, let's say when I talk to you, the reason that you can't focus on other people is listening, consuming around 80% of that bandwidth. If there is a background music, you can listen to me and you can enjoy from the background music, because background music consumes the rest of that 20%. That's why it's good to listen a little bit of the music, or when you go to a restaurant, you can enjoy from the food and listen a little bit of the music. They don't need the conflict or collision. Right. Some people different, and that is because of the bandwidth genetically. So you can't listen to 2%. You can't. That's how human evolution happened. But recently, because of these technologies, and we're practicing, that bandwidth is increasing, especially on children. That means they can play with digital devices, listen to mommy, daddy, and most of the time adults have this misunderstanding, because we learn respect is if one parent talk to you, you look at them. Okay, that's what we learned. Okay, but Generation Zs are getting a little bit different way. They don't look at you, but they listen to you. But parents, they don't know that. I'm asking you, drop your device and look at me. But technically, the brain is getting the ability to work with a device, listen to you, and also do something else with your computer. And in Kiriko, I've seen many times that children, they're doing codings and they're listening to music in a platform, and they're watching to my video for the next task and do the coding at the same time. It's so natural for them. It's natural.
Crazy, right? It's crazy.
This is my way of doing this.
But Uncle Code, like you mentioned about using screens being something so natural, right? And I'm going to bring us back to our topic for today, screen time. It is a common concern for parents to feel that if my child is spending a lot of time facing screens, there might be some disadvantages to that. So for all the parents tuning in today and for everyone tuning in today, this is a topic that we're going to discuss about today.
That's a good topic.
Uncle Code, I believe that we have some guests joining us today, perhaps.
Perfect, good. Yes, ask questions. I like that.
Right, so let's have our guests for today, Ash and V, joining us. What's up, guys?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello, both of you.
Hi,
Love
Uncle.
you, love you.
It's good
So
to hear.
we can say that all of us really spend a lot of times on screens. If you can notice
Yep.
the similarity.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Maybe we should compare our power. Who is the highest?
Yeah.
I am the disproof of this theory that that the screen has. You know what? Correlation is different than causation. Okay, correlation is different than causation. For example, when people buy more ice cream, has a correlation when people buy sunglasses. If you look at the market, in many countries they have four seasons. You suddenly see this. Does it mean ice cream caused sunglasses? This is a wrong way of thinking. These two, they have correlation, but there is something else caused both of them. That is the summer, the heat, the temperature. So people, they go out, they want to use the sunglasses and they buy ice cream. This is an example of causation is different than correlation. Maybe there is correlation between a screen and sunglasses, but there's no causation. A screen causes the specs.
Wow,
That,
that's really interesting, Uncle Code. Because to be fair, I think for me, when I eat ice cream, I just don't think about anything after that. To be completely honest, right? But okay, Uncle Code, we want to know your thoughts on, first of all, before even starting anything. I know this might sound like a really silly question, but what is a screen? What is screen time? And how do you think it's going to impact us in our lives and in the future?
okay, first of all, I don't think this is a stupid question. I think that's a very important necessity. I think questions like what is, they are very important because they are trying to define our ontology of the conversation or definition. It's very important. And I think most of this misunderstanding between people is this. And I believe many parents, they don't have clear definition about a screen, and that make it a little bit bring a lot of consequences. I'm going to focus on my own definition. I think that, to make it very simple, screens are modern world paper. They are exactly modern world paper. What was paper 50 years ago, before the internet, in your school time? How do you know everybody at school times? And before that, 100 years ago, or the moment that in 15th century, Gutenberg machine, printing machine came to the game. Print on paper became the whole things, the way we communicate, the way we share our feelings, the way we talk to everybody, the way we send love messages to your lovers, all happen on paper. Paper now evolving into something, we call it a screen. And this is not the first time. This evolution happened. For example, the moment that pencil and paper added to a school system, it was a great innovative time. It was a kind of wow. The students, they can write or pencil, or the moment the blackboard and chalk came to the game, it was a great impact on the school system. And when you look at from 1,000 years ago today, you can see that we are changing because we want to change. That's how we survive. And now that paper changing into something else, we call it a screen. And later I'm going to tell you that even this screen to me looks old. There are new approaches coming to the game soon. So a screen is the modern world paper. So if you understand this, it's everywhere. It should be everywhere. Everything should happen on this. So this is the new world paper. If we embrace it, we understand it. So the things, whatever we're going to make a conclusion for ourselves or children, will be very different. So let's define this definition. My definition is modern world paper.
Very nice.
That's
Modern
very
wallpaper.
interesting. Yeah. I mean, it is actually very true. There's not much of change. But do you think, Uncle Ko, that we should expect like a significant change in terms of jobs and education because of this, what can we say, like an improvement?
Okay, you know what? Again, back to the meaning of the paper. You're right. You're very, very right. The entire of the education were based on a book, an exam paper. You go to the exam hall and then give you paper and write it down. Imagine if the modern world is a screen, you don't expect to get that paper, right? You don't expect to go to the school and give iPad to every single student. It's funny. We expect future school says, please bring your own devices. I don't have that much money to buy an iPad for every single one of you. A screen is going to be everywhere and definitely change education system a lot. And very important thing is more attractive than paper. You even have, imagine a little bit, you can clear your digital paper. You can just save whatever you write. If your handscript is ugly, so that can help you to improve it. You have multicolors, you have videos, you have interactions. So it's so fun working on digital paper rather than the old-fashioned paper. So definitely education system go to that side. I like to see that when I'm reading about the biology of the human body and I see the brain or the heart, I want to see the animation, not just do the imagination by myself all the time. I have to force myself. And if I had a kind of teachers that he or she was not able enough to explain or illustrate nicely in the blackboard, imagine, so then I couldn't get it. And I should look at pictures. But now that paper will change entire of education and job as well. Definitely job, because if you're coming out of education system, which is happening on the screen, so job will be the same things, because we're not supposed to see something different. I'm worried about it now because the school is on paper, job is on the screen. And so definitely there's no any doubt. It's happening. It's started. And there's no any other. If you want to have a job to not be replaced by the machine and the computers and anyone else, definitely that happened on the screen. Definitely. And new jobs that we never had it in 10 years ago. For example, digital artist. 20 years ago, that didn't have any meaning. I'm a digital artist. What are you going to do? So, or I'm digital writer. I'm digital marketer. Or I'm a kind of illustrators, user interface designers. These concepts hasn't been around. And these are the new jobs. And doctors, education, especially after the COVID, we understand those jobs on the screen survived. So yes, a big yes.
So Uncle Kut,
Yes.
this is very interesting. We were talking about job and also educations, right? But I think this is more than that. I think the screen already, it's also taking over entertainment and socializing. As we can see now, most of the things, entertainment and socializing is happening on our phone and computer. And those days, for example, if we want to socializing, we would do things like play sports with friends and all that kind of things.
Yeah.
But now even sports are moving into screens. So what do you think about this?
Like literally right now we are having a conversation through a screen. Yeah.
I love it. You know what? There's something I always fan of to a little bit look at things deeper. I don't want to get caught with what you see on the surface. You may see everybody look at the phone, but back to his story, I see everybody reading newspaper. I back everybody reading written on the stone, for example. I see there is a need for something else. There is a very interesting concept. We call it gossip theory. Gossip theory says that archaic human culture, civilization, or group and family actually form because of or biological need for gossiping. For example, I don't know, in the hunter-gathering 10,000, 20,000 years ago, maybe two girls and sit and talk about the hunter of their own tribe. Wow, he's so smart. Oh, wow, she's so beautiful. And they were talking about this kind of stuff. Gossiping was the way people come and sit down and talk. So the need for communication, socialization has been around since the very beginning. When we back to the human story, we see it a lot. Building someone common myth and belief that led us to communicate together. And now that communication is still here. So what changed is the tools we use. So we were using letter and write love letter. How many of you write love letter, huh? Raj, how about you?
Occasionally, maybe sometimes. I don't know. I have a romantic side to me, Uncle Code.
So, I touched something very sensitive, huh? So that is fun. I write love letters. I mean, you write and then you put some perfume and then some kind of other stuff and then do this and the hair and then that. So these are the things we were doing with the paper, but nobody gonna do that anymore. Now showing love, coming with the nicest teachers, some video of yourself, some selfie, some other ideas that all mix with this screen. So this is very important. It's wrong we say that there is a new way of things coming to our socialization. No, socialization has been there. Entertainment has been there before. They also getting the benefit of the new modern wallpaper. So definitely, again, because of new abilities, imagine your digital paper let you translate your friend message so you can be friends with someone that you don't understand their language. Your digital paper led you to send them GIF and animations and show your emotion with emojis in a better way. And nice. That's a really great. So definitely entertainment industry, marketing industry, they are connected together with the socializations. Definitely, they will be on the screen most of the time. There's no doubt about it, and it's happening. It will, and this go to another kind of things in the future, not only on the paper.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I mean, it sounds also good, Uncle Good, and it's inevitable. This usage of screen is inevitable now. But I think one of the main things that everyone wanted to talk about is the concern of how does it impact in terms of our body. Like the one Raj said, the eyes, maybe how we see it, how screens affect our brain.
Syndrome and all those things.
Yeah. So what can you say about those things?
Yes, the effect of the tools itself, especially nowadays,
Yeah.
everything is depending on that tools, in one tools, and we use it more often. So there should be side effects, right?
Okay, I totally agree with there is a side effect. You know what? But let me tell you something about this side effect. Look at this. What I believe in technology always innovate. Technology should build something. What we expect from technology, new things. We thrive, we hunger, we are greedy to build new things. So that's why we have education. That's why we train people or build leaders, build entrepreneurs to go and explore for us and bring new things. But when they bring new things, we don't expect perfectionism. You don't expect the first version of the monitor LCD be the best version of it. You guys remember the first version of the monitor? You see that the big monitor? Huh?
Yeah.
And it has electricity.
Bulky.
Close your hand to the monitors, you can feel the static electricity.
Yeah.
So you have to get in a filter, right?
Yeah.
But we were patient to reach to today that you have these kind of LED monitors and a lot of things. And you have to be patient more. Then you see that this technology has correction. The self-correction in technology is beautiful, in science is beautiful. I'm not saying that it doesn't have any kind of harm, which I'm going to talk about it. There is a nice research about it. But what I'm saying that is that if there's any harm, they improve it. We scientists, engineers, we improve it. We keep improving it. So that doesn't mean that you have to stop. Even the paper today has a nice story, of itself. And the chemical components they were using for the paper, they had toxic effect and then improved to today paper that you're not worried about it. Everything is like that. Or like, for example, now there are many businesses that their beautiful idea is ergonomic chairs because they figured out in 18th, 19th century, industrial revolution, people, they're going to go office and sit down. Then the demand brought new ideas. Researchers worked, how should be the table, the back pain, and all these kind of things that you put your feet and legs, a lot of things, a lot of this stuff, or even, that's my example always. If you remember, I have pen. So when you wanted to use the pen, there are some kind of rubber bands, something that you put it around it. You remember you guys that one?
Yeah.
There are a lot of shapes, nice shapes, flowers, that kind of things that people they wanted to buy. So the same thing is happening to a screen. So I mean, yes, it's there and it's improving and it's going forward.
Yeah, it's nice. When you talk about this, Uncle Ko, I also it just remind me of this dark theme and light theme that I think we all have now in our screens, right, on our phones.
Yeah.
That we can switch it to dark theme. I'm always a fan of dark theme. What about you, Uncle Ko?
Yeah, I'm almost before this dark team became dark team. I was in a dark team, so there is a theme. I'm not saying team, okay? Theme. It's a really interesting. You know what? This when we talk about a dark theme and dark and light theme, it remind me Star Wars, the dark side and the light side.
Yes, 100%.
Are you guys Star Wars fan? I'm very, very Star Wars fan. And I think you mentioned something really interesting. I like to tell this, that not only about the screen technology, that for many years, interior designer, they graduate from university and they learn interesting stuff about psychology of the people because they want to design the house, the building, shopping centers, places, bus stations, office workers in a way that to give them some sort of a better feeling, because that's a very important thing. The light, the design, it's a very important thing. If you are a good architecture, you should have this kind of knowledge. Otherwise, you're going to design something that doesn't work with the people, or it will be around but not for quite a long time. Okay. Now, new and modern shopping center is website on the screen, because people spend more time on the screen, buy more on the screen in the online shopping centers. There's no more that much physical, you go there and then back home. So web designers, user interface designers, now they are modern world architecture, and they have code of conduct, and they are the one came up with the dark theme, because it's better for human eyes at night. It has lesser impact and also uses the battery lesser. And they have a lot of things, lots of things. The type, the typography, the font size, the line height, the letter space, the size, the direction between letters and dots. And there are a lot of things, colors and buttons and the shape of the buttons. And it's a fast growing part of a user interface. And I really love it. So you can see that. You can see the modern wallpaper. It's the modern world, everything. It's the platform for everything. All the businesses, giant businesses happening on a screen. Giant businesses, Google, Facebook, YouTube happen on a screen. And that's why they spend a lot of time and money and research on even the interface, how you should make it beautiful to be good for human eyes. Yes, very good example. And that's correct. Dark theme and light theme. And I'm fan of it, maybe because programmers, they like the dark theme. But now it's everywhere. It's really good, especially at night. And there is also, anyway, I want to just tell this, that Raj, have you tried virtual reality glasses or anything, augmented reality devices?
I have tried AR devices. I have tried VR one time also, but I didn't try it a second time because I was quite scared at how realistic it was. It sort of just really took me by surprise. So I stayed away for a while.
How about you?
Yeah, I've tried. You know those it's like a theme park for virtual reality, something like that. So it's not that much of real, but it gives you that feeling of falling off a cliff or something. Yeah, it's interesting and scary.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I use it once and play games, and just my head spinning right after I finished the game. I was like, oh my god, I feel like the world is spinning around. But it's really nice experience. It brings you to somewhere, a different world, and it's nice. It's really nice.
And you have to understand something. It's not anymore just that screen. The meaning of the screen evolving, itself evolving. The VR glasses are coming. And they're going to be everywhere. Facebook investing a lot on the VR. So if you are worried about this screen, so let me give you new things to be worried. And that is the glasses. And these are interesting. But again, now if you use VR glasses, yes, some people, they may feel a little bit nausea or something like that. But they're working rapidly on that because it's going to be the future. And now imagine you can have the VR glass if you're 13 years old, 12 years old, and go to a beautiful virtual chemistry laboratory. Expensive laboratory, all the devices, and there are beautiful applications for that, and soon they will be everywhere. This virtual reality, augmented reality, a screen is coming outside of that 2D shape screen to be more than that. So this is ongoing. This is the story of life.
So, Uncle Kut, the fact that you said that it's a story of life, I think we can all come to a conclusion that we can't run away from screens. It's everywhere. It's all around us. We are on a screen right now. Right after this recording, we're going to be on our phones. We're going to be on our laptops. If we are going out, there's going to be a digital billboard. It's all around us. Yes. So is there such thing as screen time if it's around us all the time?
Very interesting point. I think you already gave the answers. I love it. You know what? If you go to your car, there is a screen. You open your refrigerator, there is a digital screen. It's a necessity. Because now data and information became very visual. Before that was done like that. You have to know that the first computer never had any screen. It was just programmers. They should key in the data in a different way and then get the data out of it. There were no any kind of a screen for that. But now it's so. First of all, the technology make it cheap and you can have it everywhere. So my answer is, yes, that's a little bit of the bogus concept. It's a bogus. I don't understand it. Looks like paper time. Did we have any kind of concept like a paper time? So now it's a paper. We never had such a kind of things. Or I don't know if you have that picture or not. If not, maybe we can show it later today. That there's a picture that a lot of people sitting in a bus and they are reading newspaper. And you guys remember your parents, your grandparents reading newspaper everywhere, in the eating, in the restaurants, in toilets.
Yeah.
Reading newspaper. Today, that newspaper to change to Jimmy Kimmel YouTube channels when you are in the kind of bathroom and toilet. So, but that's exactly what is happening. We spend a lot of time with them in toilet. It means I don't understand. It's a little bit wrong to say a screen time. There is something about a time. I talk about it, but the screen itself, it just looks like you really you want to just exclude yourself from light. It's like a light. It's everywhere. So yes, it doesn't make sense. As paper time doesn't make sense.
Uncle Kut, do you think this is the first time we're having such a concern? You know, it seems like everybody is talking about it. It seems like many people are having concern about, screen time, and it's not good. Please limit this and that. Do you think this is the first time we're having this kind of concerns?
No way. You should ask me when was the first time.
When was the first time we're having such a concern?
Nobody knows. Back years ago. You know what? When a climate changes, because like around 50,000 years ago, climate changes was not like today to have one season. It was so chaos and fluctuation. So that's why people couldn't sit in one place. They had to travel and migrate all around the world. But around 12,000 years ago, climate change became smoother like today. So human could find the opportunity to sit down in one place and call it home. That's the time agriculture come to the game. But that is the time also that people sit down and share stories at night around the fire. Okay, so I guess that's my guess. That is the time parents started to ask their children, okay, now is it sleeping time? Enough a story time finished, go and sit down. So I think that's the moment, the first time we started. And then till 1980, that TV screen time became very important concern between parents. And now this, and tomorrow another things, and another things. Remember I said when I see things, I try to not look at the surface. What is that concern? What is that anxiety in human that when he or she has children, he care about this stuff? Why adults themselves consume a lot of times in their screen? We know that. You guys do that. So it's not the first time. No, 1983 is one of the closest example, and that 12,000 years ago that I remember, but you guys don't remember, is the first time.
I think it's because we can also look at it this way, that everyone is working based on screen. You mentioned it yourself a while ago, right? All of us requires to work on screen. Otherwise, we'll be left with maybe those old kind of jobs. Yeah, paper jobs. but how about those people like us?
Yeah, so in a way, we are calling parents out now. Like, if your children can't have screen time, why can you have screen time? It's not fair.
I'm a parent.
Sorry, V.
I can debate about that, but in a different way. But I don't want to go into that now.
So you make sure that your child see this video if you are a parent, or you make sure that your child won't see this video. You know what? Let me give. Okay, correct. I mean, of course, if your job required you to be with the screen, so that's important. That's what you have to do. That.
Yeah.
But this was when a screen not was like today everywhere. So I don't know. This one of the another concept like screen time I don't understand is this. It's not anymore your job. Everybody's job should be on a screen. Again, remember what means your job. What are you doing that your job has only need a screen? How about my job? If somebody's job doesn't need a screen, means that job soon is going to be extincted or be replaced by technology or artificial intelligence or some other stuff sooner or later. For example, cashier doesn't need a screen. We think now, but very soon one of the job will be totally vanished from the planet is the cashier. Sorry to cashiers, but it's coming. Because all happening online. I go to the restaurant, I just There is a barcode that I scan, I pay, and I go finish. Even if I go to Restuma in future. Generation Z, I don't think they're gonna go. So the point is, first of all, I don't understand this one, but of course agree if your job engaged with something. For example, let's say a person, this is just a funny example. Imagine your friend working in a call center. So he or she has to spend all the time on call and talk. And then you see your friend, I'm worried for you. You're spending too much on phone. Don't do that. This is funny, huh? You can't tell this. But now imagine everybody in the world should be on call on the phone. That's an example, analogy. So yes, but you should ask me these questions around 15 years ago, not now.
That was for adult, but where is that leave for children? What about them?
Okay. That's okay. That's a good
I'm a
point.
mother, so I'm asking this.
I think a lot of parents actually have this question,
Yeah.
and they wanted to have the answer now.
Always bring the topics back to children,
The
So what about
whole
children?
time, the whole time growing up, 25 years of my life, that's the exact same question my parents have been asking me. So Uncle Code, please spare me this misery.
Okay. Do not get the benefit for yourself, Raj, from my talk now. Okay, you go and
Yes.
take your trolley shoes by yourself. No. So, but let me tell you something. Okay. No, this is a question. This is a valid. This is a valid but unnecessary question. So let me tell you what I mean by that. When we say everybody job is going to be on a screen, education is going to be on a screen, entertainment is going to be on a screen, future is going to be on a screen. So does it make sense such a world that its children are not in a screen? You can't imagine such a world that suddenly at some certain age everybody is in cave. After age 18 they come out and they are on a screen all the time. Never ever been like that. Being on a screen or anything else, human culture, civilizations formed from the baby time. It means from the day one, I understand what is oxygen, what is mommy, daddy, and what is the screen.
Mhm.
Because whatever I'm gonna do, my education, my trainings, my life, my finding my love, my friendships, my jobs, my interviews, everything are going to happen on that screen. So first of all, for children actually is not about a job at all, because their life is on this, education is online this. And one thing very important, we have to understand, we adult, we should understand this. For us, physical world and digital world, or maybe I should call it virtual world, are two separated things. We can feel it, we can understand. All of us, we remember the time before Motorola and Nokia. We remember all of it. Remember that?
Yeah.
I remember I was 10 years old and my parents came back from a trip and they brought a kind of walkie-talkie kind of phone for home, wireless, and it was big, and then antenna. I remember, guys. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, my father have that.
This is before Nokia or Motorola or any kind of, doesn't have any screen, just a button. We know this world. So then suddenly we saw a screen. Then we saw a kind of computers and all this kind of stuff. So we know these two are separated. Looks like we have seen the back and the future. But for Generation Z, always I make this joke. The moment they born in hospital, the first things probably they see is the screen of the mommy taking selfie with the kid. So to share Instagram. So I see first the screen and then the mommy. And now in modern hospital, nurse, they use iPad to check temperature of the children. So they keep watching this screen and the phone. I mean, there is no runaway for that. For them, physical world, virtual world twisted. It's like a space-time, what Einstein figured out. Same thing. Any attempt, I'm telling this, any attempt to separate this, it will give you anxiety to your child. It give you immature child. It give you sick human. You should understand these two are going to be together. Your children are growing with these two. They are going to get married with these two. They're going to have their own children with these two. You have to understand and be very careful about it. Very, very careful about it. I don't understand the screen time only weekend. I don't understand this stuff. And this is stuff like separating these things, because you don't know it, but you know the world when these two, they were separated. You feel power when the world became back, but now you don't feel the power. But for this generation, is the same thing. So I'm fighting for the new generation.
But you see, Uncle Kod, the one concern that I have in my mind, right, is that we are spending so much of time looking at screens. And there's a technology behind these displays or these monitors, right? It should be harmful to adult or children in some way or another, right?
No.
Well, I love that. I just love the confidence, and you just didn't care about my feelings for a second, Uncle Kod. It's like, should I try to explain this to Raj, or should I just completely obliterate him? No.
That's okay, Raj.
Yeah, I'm fine, guys. I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
If you want, we can ask Raj to close your screen for a while if you need. Raj,
clean up my tears a bit. But what is your rationale behind that abrupt no, Uncle Kod?
Okay, I have one thing. You know what? As I said, we should understand that we should stop looking at a screen and at different things in our life. The same way we look at the food, the health, the gym, the workout, the life, the mental health. A screen is something like them. It became one of the human life elements. That's what I look at. It became platform. Other things are going to flow within the screen. So when you ask me about technology of it, I answered a little bit to Ash about the technology. But I'm going to tell you something. If you go through the internet, you're going to find, Raj, you're right. You're going to find a lot of articles, many articles that within the last 10 years, probably, that they talk about negative impacts of technology. It make bad behavior in children. It bring nausea. It bring dreams. It bring distraction and But when you look at all these kind of bad things, when they say distraction or bad behavior, but there's a question: a screen make you to have bad behavior, or what you watched in the screen? Okay, so I'm gonna focus on the content, screen content, which is more important than the screen. But back to the technology of the screen, there is interesting research has been done recently by British psychologists and engineers, specialists in kid, and it's released by CNN. Everybody is interested. Give us a comment. We can share the link. That shows that there are little evidence that technology itself has any harm for adult or children. Especially this evolved technology now. They do have some guidelines. For example, they say that for now, try to stop watching a screen 1 hour before sleeping, because of blue colors, blue lights coming from the current technology we use in LCD. But they say that in 10 years later, that will be resolved. 10 years later will be very different. Even now, there is a concept that imagine your house wall. What if one day a screen becomes so cheap and not damaging some kind of thing? Imagine your wall is a screen, okay? So you can change the color of the house. You can change the patterns. You can do something you want it. Something like that. So these are the things that are coming. Technology moving through that direction. But very important that we understand the pros and cons and improve it. So when you look at too many articles published before, the problem with them is they are just focusing on negative things that you may expect. For example, let's say if I give you an article today, Raj, that what are negative things that you may expect if you go to have workout 3 days in a week? Back pain, shoulder pain, all the injuries. Imagine you don't know how to search. You don't have that capability, and I'm the one just feeding you with the negative news. You're never ever gonna go to the gym because gym is something bad. This is what is happening, because some of researchers that are parents, we are exposed with our own mistakes. That means we look at something bad about a screen, so we research about the negativity of the screen, and let's research on beautiful things that can happen when we use it in a proper way. Okay, so this is not a reason to stop it. It's a reason to improve the technology of the screen. That's all. Not that. So, but I'm very happy that today's screen, there are less, especially the design dark theme that Ervina mentioned. They became really good. And I explained to you guys that VR is coming. And remember the evolution of those big TV to today's screen, and virtual reality is coming. Augmented reality, so screen. And also now I'm waiting for 3D printers. 3D monitors. That means by light, you see those kind of things in the Iron Man movies, or hologram that you can see and you can shape maybe. These are the things that are coming. So So then what? And then what are you gonna do about the screen? Is everywhere? Is air? Is the
Yeah.
air you breathe? Is there?
Thanks very much, Uncle Code, for that elaborate and detailed answer. I think we're going to take a quick break. All right. I'm totally not going to go and wipe my tears, but let's take a quick break. And for everyone tuning in to the episode, we will be back with the second part. In the meantime, make sure you all like this episode, share it with people who are going to enjoy it. And Ash, V, Uncle Code, and myself will be back shortly. We'll see you in a bit.
Perfect. See you guys.
All right. See you.